Yeah, I think that everybody can accept that the way we handled the Cypriot crisis was a disaster the last months. It's not very serious, naturally, and very fair that we say that to you, Mr. Rehn, because it should be the Eurogroup who is sitting there and who is hearing our assessment about how the Cyprus file has been handled. Because it has given the impression Europe is failing, but what is failing? It was in fact what is failing is a bad intergovernmental system that we have today, where 17 ministers of finance have to deal case by case with now Cyprus, previous Ireland, then Portugal, tomorrow maybe Spain or Italy. And how it works we know. They are waiting until the last moment. That's their first rule. The second is that they are meeting each other then at the end of the week, in the beginning of the weekend, under the pressure of the opening of the markets on Monday, and then they are taking a decision case by case under the pressure, thinking that they have solved the problem. And so I think that what we have seen in the case of Cyprus is proof of the fact that we need the fastest as possible concerning these problems a European resolution fund, a European mechanism, and not longer a case-by-case approach as we have seen today. And I should urge you, Mr. Rehn, to come forward as fast as possible with a proposal. I know that Mr. Barroso said to us that before June there should be a proposal on the table. Such a European resolution fund, it should be the banks who are paying contributions in relation to their risk profile. A saving bank less contribution, an investment bank with a higher risk a higher contribution. But in any way it should be the end of a game that we are playing for the moment, in which in every interview we are saying who has to pay the bill? Are it the taxpayers? Are it the depositors? Are it the shareholders? Are it the bondholders? I think all these are bad solutions. The only good solution is the European Resolution Fund, where we make an insurance system with contributions by the financial sector itself. And my request to you, Mr. Rehn, is that you speed up that proposal. Don't wait for the green light from Berlin and from Paris this time. Put it on the table the fastest as possible so that Parliament and Council can start. In the meanwhile, and that is my second point, I want to know what went wrong in this case of Cyprus. We have asked for hearings in the ECO. We shall organise that on the 25th of April, because there are a number of questions that have been answered today. Who proposed in fact this levy on small depositors? What was the baddest idea ever, I should say? Why did the President of the Eurogroup, Mr. Dijsselbloem, say that the Cyprus crisis is systemic, but we have a European systemic risk board? What they did. If the crisis is systemic, then the ESRB should have done something. Otherwise, why we need an ESRB? Or what was the role of the Troika in the sale of the Cypriot banks? And then finally, that's for the ECB, difficult question, how this emergency liquidity assistance operate in the Cyprus issue, because that has been used 18 months ago already. So I think that we need these answers. We need to create transparency in what happened wrong. Lessons learned. That is absolutely necessary. And if there is no sufficient answer inside these hearings, inside the Econ Committee, my group will call for the immediate setting up of a parliamentary inquiry committee to shed light and find answers to these and other questions. Thank you.